So now we come into the dominating years, the Ferrari dominating years, 2000 onwards, obviously to 2000, 2004 were the championship years. So, Paul, what were your thoughts on that in the 2000?
Yeah, so obviously after the issues of '99 with Michael breaking his leg, and more than likely I think would have won that particular championship that year. The pressure was starting to build. It was his fifth year in Ferrari,
Yeah,
and obviously they wanted him to deliver. They're paying him a lot of money, and fortunately he got a great car, and he started off really well. He had a really good start to the season, which really helped. Then there was a little bit of a dip in the middle season where McLaren came back as well and really grabbed a lot of points. But fortunately for Michael, he then ran away with it at the end of the season and then clinched it on the last race, and
yeah, yeah,
really therefore helped take the pressure off him and the whole team. Delivering their first world championship since 1979 with Jody Scheckter.
right, right. He equaled Senna's 41 wins in that 2000 season as well. And I remember that press conference where he broke down and
Yeah,
who was it? Was Ralph? His brother was next to him, and Mika, wasn't
and
it?
Mika Hakkinen. Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
And he just couldn't carry on. What did the he was asked, how much does it mean to you? Does it mean anything to you? And he was
yeah.
like, yeah, it does. Like it means
Yeah, and he
everything
just,
to me.
he just, and then Mika just said, "Let's cut this interview," because Mika couldn't talk with him, with Michael sobbing his heart out
No,
right
no,
next
no,
to him.
no.
Just didn't feel comfortable. So fair play to
Yeah,
Mika. We said Mika's a great sports person and a really likable
yeah,
guy and a great
incredible
competitor,
sportsman.
very fair and honest.
Very fair. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So that was yeah. So then yeah, finally achieving that championship was fantastic. Um, Very emotional for me.
Yeah,
But as we go into 2001, I think he had 9 wins that season.
yeah, he had nine,
Just
yeah, nine
dominant.
wins that season, and they
Yeah,
absolutely
another record.
blitzed the championship. I think Michael
Yeah,
was able to relax after getting the championship. I think he felt I got a championship for Ferrari, so whatever happens now, I've done what
yeah.
I've come
I
here to achieve.
I think, like you said, he got that monkey off his back.
Yeah, the monkey
Having
off his
been
back
there.
definitely, and he could
You know,
relax and drive with a little bit less pressure.
and the
And
team
yeah,
was
he
gelled
just
at that point.
yeah, he just wiped the floor that particular
Mm,
season, and also that year we had the Canadian Grand Prix in which Ralph and Michael finished on the podium. Ralph finishing
right.
first and Michael second, which was the first
Yeah.
time two siblings had finished on the podium together,
Mm. That's right.
which was great to see.
Yeah, it's funny. I was just listening to the Formula for Success. We probably shouldn't be advertising other podcasts, but it is a great podcast, Formula for Success with Coulthard and Eddie Jordan. And Ralph Schumacher was the guest. And he was talking about that, saying how
Yeah,
ridiculously amazing that was.
yeah.
But yeah, it's very cool. Um, so yeah, that was a dominant season. He finished, I don't know what, 50, nearly 60 points ahead or something like that, 58,
Yeah, I think
60
it
points
was
ahead.
it 58 points?
Was
It
it?
was
Yeah.
58
Okay.
points ahead, yeah, that particular season. Yeah.
Just unbelievable. And that rolled into obviously into 2002.
Yeah.
It was dominant, but there was some controversy, wasn't there? So we had the Rubens
Yeah.
Barrichello incident, sort of,
Yeah.
how can we say it, moving out of the way in Austria, wasn't it? So
Yeah.
and then the
Yeah.
podium swap, and they got
Yeah.
fined on the podium for switching places, and
That's it. Yeah. Yeah.
um,
And I think other people just see it as if it's a little bit too much. People, the perception was it looked a bit cocky as well, a bit arrogant. It didn't go down well. There was a lot of booing, I remember, at the circuit when they were on
yeah,
the podium. And Michael, I think, realised wasn't great. But I'm sure it was team orders for him to do that. It was all discussed
yep,
before the race if that was the situation. Um, but I think Michael is a number one driver, but he was never in his contract probably to say he was the number one driver. But because he always started off so well in each season, he became the number one driver because if Ferrari wanted to win the
yeah,
championship, then within the season that it was best for him to win the races to ensure that he
Yeah.
won the actual championship, because there were quite a few seasons we know it went to the last race and a
Mm.
couple of points could have made a big difference there.
Yeah, they were taking no chances. I think they just wanted that.
Yeah,
There's a real chance if we make this guy the number one, that's it. But plus he was flying, like he was
yeah.
flying. He was at the
And
top
they
of his
knew he was
game
the
there.
quickest. He more
Yeah,
than likely would have taken
yeah.
the
And he
championship.
equaled Fangio's record that year as well. Obviously,
That's right. Yeah.
2003,
So
taking
five
five.
wins
Yeah, five
that season,
championships.
which was incredible.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Again, incredibly emotional. It seemed, he was just breaking records left, right, and center at that
Yeah.
point. So,
And the problem
um,
then was becoming that because Michael obviously three wins in a row and dominating F1, then as you get regulations start to change to try and make the sport more level playing field, because I think the fans were getting bored, unfortunately.
it blows my mind when we've just had 8 years of dominance with Mercedes. But
Yeah.
anyway, well, that's another conversation.
So coming into 2003, there were some changes, regulations. The main one was the one lap qualifying they were doing. So wherever they were in the championship is where they went out on the Saturday afternoon. So obviously, if you were higher up the championship, you were later out with a more than likely, hopefully, a better,
Mm.
a bit, the track warmed up and
Yeah,
hopefully
I
a
think
better
they
race.
changed it. They think they changed the point system as well, and I think the tire
Yeah,
width
that's
or
right.
something
It went
was,
from
you
it
know,
went to 10, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So
right.
basically, second place got 8 points instead of 6 points. And again, they were looking at if Michael's dominating, at least if someone coming second, they only get 2 points less. So they're still
Yeah,
keeping the championship alive and close. So a little
yeah,
bit
and
unfair on Michael for being performing so well, but unfortunately, everyone's a business, a
yeah,
sport,
yeah.
and
Hmm.
they've got to ensure that
It's an entertainment. That's what it is. It's
the
entertainment.
sponsors, they need the sponsors,
Hmm. Hmm.
so
Yeah,
they need to ensure it's a lively and
hmm,
watchable sport.
yeah, yeah. And of course, then he did break Fangio's record with his number
That's
six.
right. Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
In
um,
2003, where he won the last race to gain it against Kimi.
mhm,
Uh,
absolutely, yeah. And then into 2004, there was a record-breaking 12 of the first 13 races, I think,
yeah,
and he'd won it. Just after the summer break there in Spa, I think it was
that's
already
right. Yeah,
in
yeah,
Belgium.
yeah. It was
The
completely
title was already done. Another dominating
yeah, and a record
race.
148 points that particular year as well. The
Was it 148?
Yeah,
I didn't know that. Wow.
that's it. And the Bridgestone tires were just so dominant in that particular
Mhm.
year as well. So again,
Mhm.
amazing. Another world championship and
Yeah,
seven world championships now.
I know. It's
Um,
incredible, isn't it? It's
Incredible.
incredible.
Which we never
Yeah.
thought would ever be equaled or beaten, but we won't go there
No.
at the
No.
moment.
That's definitely for another time.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then moving
Um,
on to 2005, which was a very disappointing year. Again, I think that the Bridgestones weren't particularly that strong that year, and Michael unfortunately only had one win that particular year, which was
right.
that fantastic US Grand Prix with
Wow.
six
Yes.
cars lining up on the grid, Bridgestone tyres, Ferrari, Jordan, and Minardi. So no competition whatsoever. The most exciting thing of that race was which of the two teams, Jordan and Minardi, were going to get the on the podium, which was ended up being Tiago Montero in the Jordan, but a massive embarrassment to the
It,
sport.
yeah, I remember, like you said the other day, people throwing cans onto the track
Bottles,
and
yeah,
booing and
booing,
holding up
people were leaving.
signs and
Yeah,
yeah, like just it was horrible. I nearly went to that race because I was living out there in North America at
yeah,
that time. So, and I nearly went to that race, and it was a last minute decision
yeah,
to not go. And
yeah,
because obviously, the US, it wasn't F1 wasn't popular, so tickets were
yeah,
throwaway
yeah,
prices. They were
yeah,
desperate to get as many people as there as they could, and and it was a last minute decision. I didn't go, and I
Yeah.
wish because it was history that day, and I
Yeah, I
wish I
think
would have
it would
been
have
there.
been a real historic race
Yeah,
to go to. I remember I got hold of a program from the day because I thought it'd be quite prestigious as time went on
yeah,
from
right.
somebody. So that was
Where
good.
did you get that from? That's great. Where did
Um,
you get that?
just someone I know from America that went to the race got hold of one for me,
All right,
a friend,
fantastic. Good for you.
which is
That's great.
great. And
Yeah.
yeah, it was just an interesting race, wasn't it? Because obviously the Michelins they all went out at the
Hmm.
start, and then
Yeah.
they all came into the pits, and that was it.
What
So,
was the race? It was a bit like the one. Was it 2 seasons ago where Hamilton was left on the grid by himself?
oh, that's
What
right.
was it?
Yeah, yeah. They all went into the pits, didn't they? And Hamilton was just like one light, two lights, three
Yeah.
lights, four lights, five. Let's go.
Help yourself. Yeah, that's it. That was classic. I was laughing so hard at that. That was just
Yeah, it's
genius
just
stuff.
hilarious. Yeah,
Yeah, so not so good. 0506. Yeah, not so good. I was reading something the other day that Jean Todt actually offered Michael a team principal job and a sporting director job. He thought he'd be the perfect guy for either of those jobs, and he turned it down. He said, "No,
yeah,
thanks. I need to step back and get away from
yeah,
this." Is
yeah.
obviously that's when Stefano came in,
Yeah,
but
yeah. I think Michael
yeah,
became quite tired, exhausted at this
and
point
and
as
a bit
well.
of a neck problem, I think. So I heard
Yeah, he had a
rumors of
bit
a
of a
neck
neck
problem.
problem, and that's
Mm,
one of the reasons I think he decided to stop racing.
yeah.
Um, yeah, he had a little bit of a neck problem, which was causing problems.
Mhm.
Um, so I think he did retire too early. Um, I
I
think he
think
could have,
Sorry, Ross Brawn, I think feels that too. He says he
yeah,
sort of hung up his helmet just a little too early,
too early, yeah.
but
But
that's history. Who
yeah,
knows?
but I mean,
Who knows?
yeah, but going to the last season, it was at Ferrari 2006. Again, it was pretty back up there. That
Hmm.
was when Alonso took the championship again in 2006, but it was a lot closer that particular year. It was a quite a good rivalry between the two of them. Um, so the only other person to win a Grand Prix that year was Jenson Button, the
All right.
Hungarian Grand Prix. So apart from Alonso and Schumacher, Jenson was the only other person to win a Grand Prix, and it was the first year that no British team won a race that year since 1956. So
Wow.
obviously no Williams or McLaren, etc. Obviously winning a race that year. So it was quite a strange year that particular year. And then we had the qualifying in Monaco, which was a big talking point.
Let's not talk about that. Yeah, parking that like that.
So
Yes,
again,
yeah. I
another
mean,
one
it's
of Michael's errors.
indiscretions, should we say?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Slight. Yeah, it's hard to know what goes through someone's mind in these moments, isn't it? With the
yeah,
adrenaline and the competitiveness.
yeah.
It's very hard to know what goes
I
through
think it's
someone's
just
mind.
it's the
But
will to win and thinking Alonso, I think, is going to beat that
yeah,
time.
mm,
And what going for it? What can I do? Oh, it's Monaco. It's easy to make an error and you get stuck, and then it's a red
yeah,
flag. Can I come
yeah.
around this corner and make it look as if I've just got it a little bit wrong? Uh, and unfortunately, there's too many cameras and too much information now to get away with it. And he got caught out.
He
And he
did.
started at the back of the grid, but I think he came all the way through the grid and came fifth, which was still a pretty
Mhm.
amazing feat for Monaco as well for that
Monaco, yeah,
particular year.
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But
fantastic.
yeah, unfortunately, that was it. That's when Michael decided to call it a day at Ferrari. But
Mhm.
seven
What a
wins,
legend.
seven
Yeah.
championship wins,
Five
five
with
of them.
Ferrari, two with Benetton. Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
so
I
not
mean,
bad at all.
legend, absolute legend,
Yeah,
hero, absolute
yeah,
hero.
yeah.
Yeah. I think it's very clear that Michael means very much to us all. He is our hero. And we are not here on this channel or on this podcast to talk about or speculate about anything about his current situation. That's not the point of this episode. It was just to pay tribute to his life and his achievements as a sportsman, which changed my life. And thank you, Michael, for that. So I have a couple of other tributes from our Italian correspondent again, which I would like to read out. Michael is a big hero of hers, Mrs. Sunta Corrado, and she says, "My affection for him is not so much on a sporting level, but of memories. I started following Ferrari when he was dominating, and it was immediately love. I was little, I didn't understand much about it, but I was passionate about it. He would often come to the track in Napoli with his son Mick to do the karting, but she was never able to go there. Um, I've always had the desire to meet him, but it wasn't possible, unfortunately. Seeing his races today as an adult, it excites me, and in my opinion, he was the greatest champion. As a man and as a pilot, although many people remind me that he was not maybe always in a good mood, but when he won, he rewarded each of his mechanics. Maybe that was rude, but it only served as a defense to hide his big heart. I think that's
That's
pretty spot on there.
that's fantastic. Yeah,
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 it's a beautiful tribute there.
yeah.
And
That's really good. That's really nice to hear.
yeah, so I mean, I think, as I say, I think Michael means many things to all of us, but he is the true hero of Ferrari for me. Um, there are many heroes of Ferrari, but for me, it is Michael.
Yeah,
They're all heroes,
yeah.
but Michael is a big hero for me. So, how do you feel, Paul?
Yeah, he's one of my big heroes, obviously for Ferrari as well. Anyone that drives for Ferrari is a hero for me. I respect them, and yeah, they're all heroes, and I support them all the way, winning or losing. Yeah, but Michael is very special.
So that wraps it up for today for Modena to Maranello. Thank you so much for watching. And again, thank you so much for the emails. Please keep them coming at modena to maranello at gmail.com. Thank you so much. And this weekend, I guess there's Daytona coming up next weekend.
Yeah, next weekend, Daytona 24 Hours, which is a great start to the motorsport year. And we've got some Ferrari cars and good drivers there. And good luck to them
Colorado,
all. James
yeah,
Collado
Nielsen,
is one of them. Nicholas Nielsen.
Nielsen, David,
Um,
yeah, they're all there. Yeah, it'll be so obviously watch that. Some trips coming up, some cool things happening ahead, and follow us on Spotify now. We are also available on the Spotify and the YouTube, and what else? The Facebook and the Instagram.
Facebook. Yeah, Facebook, you
We're
can see
almost
the
everywhere,
show.
annoyingly everywhere, which is
Yeah.
you know, but it's a lot of fun doing this. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching, and keep fighting, Michael.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Take care and see you soon. Thank you.
Bye bye.